Okay. Just basically, when you're doing a longer meditation, it helps to raise your hips up because you'll start to have
I'm
your
gonna have to take my shoes off and get pushing out.
show how to. Linnell goes to sitting on her knees with a cushions underneath
I've
her
got a
pelvic
cushion
floor.
going lengthwise with a blanket on top to lift me up, and then I'm kneeling on either side of it. It's it's pretty okay at this point. It might not be for a lot of people. It wasn't for me for a while, but it works now as an option to, for example, sitting cross-legged. If you're in a chair, that's great. You could even put a block or something under your feet if you're in a chair. Or I've also,
Across
one
the
of the
any blocks. Give away.
yeah,
Thank
the
you.
lengthier
When
ones,
we do
I
everybody.
propped myself up and laid down at a 45-degree angle.
So
I'm going to
let me.
silence everybody. You want me to show? Okay.
Have you got them silenced?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to show you what she's doing.
Show the kneeling. Okay. So here's the kneeling. I've got the
Let's see.
cushion and the blanket between my legs and kneeling. Okay.
Okay, so what I'll show you a different thing, and that is to sit traditional cross-legged, but then use blocks to prop under your knee like this.
That's always a good one.
And that will take the tension off your hips. You want to do it so it's relaxed for you when you start.
What I like even better is to
Angle
it a little bit so that the flat surface is not, you don't have a corner cutting into your leg. So see how it angles out a little bit, but it's stable. And the block has many sizes, so that's always a good hack.
Right. And the other advantage of using a prop is, what's the key to everything we're doing? Relax, relax, soften, soften, soften. So when you're sitting and you're supporting your leg weight with your inner groin muscles, they tighten up, they tense up. One of the things that I found out, I've been meditating 50 years, I figured out why we bow afterwards. If you notice, what muscles get released when you bow forward? You release your groin and your lower back and your hip rotators. So it's a natural kind of stretch before you try to stand up from the muscles that you've been engaging while you're meditating. But when you're sitting in a comfortable position, what happens, and this is fundamental to yoga as opposed to stretching, is that you get the deep stretch in the muscles that are deeper and closer to the bone, because you're not feeling that sense of having to support yourself.
It's like a yin pose.
It's a yin pose.
You prop up and then you relax into it. Find something comfortable. And then you can always readjust. It's not like you must be stationary. When you find your Goldilocks pose, it might change over, 10 or 15 minutes, and you're going, oh, there's no way I can sustain this. So it's okay to shift.
And if you're in a Zen dome, we've talked about this, I think, before, you can always move, but you move very slowly. You don't do things to attract attention to yourself. So your leg kind of stretches out like this. It'll get out in front of you. So you don't interfere with other people's concentration. But there's no brownie points to being in pain. When I first started, I thought, oh, I'm building virtue by sitting here and enduring all this pain. And no, not so much.
I kind of did that first retreat.
Right. Well,
all my teacher told me was, you find a comfortable seat and then you don't move. And 20 minutes stretched into 25 minutes and sometimes 30. And I was counting, I was doing math in my head, I was doing everything I
Anything
could
to avoid the pain.
Yeah.
And you're wasting your time at that point. You're doing anything but meditating.
Yeah.
You're avoiding pain, which you can do off the cushion all day long. You don't have to set aside a special time for that. So tonight we are going to listen again to Adyashanti. We're kind of alternating back and forth till we kind of find our sweet spot. This is going to be focusing a little bit more. I said this on Saturday and there. Look, someone coming in late, Julie. Perfect. Okay. So they divide things up a little bit differently from the way the Hindus do. The Hindus are very much the seven chakras. And so you'll probably have some reference point to those. Whereas when I'm studying Tai Chi, the main focus that we got is what's called the lower dantian, and the lower dantian is just above the pubic bone. I was just reading a reading today on the Chinese approach to trauma reduction. And what they do is they encourage you to meditate out of this center as a way of bypassing the brain, bypassing the heart. We tend to not really get into our body, so it really does get into that grounded, anchored stuff that I try to encourage us to do. The second is the heart center, and we just did a meditation yesterday or a couple days ago by Adyashanti, which was on the heart center. And again, he talked about that being more present, and then we all know that this is called the middle dantian, the heart, and this is called the upper dantian, the third eye. So they have different centers. So I have not heard this one, but I think what we're going to be doing is looking at these three centers as focal points for your meditation. So we'll let Adyashanti explain it a little bit better.
Okay.
See you in a few.
So as we start, just allow yourself to check in your body, just to see if there's any part of it that wants to just relax, just relinquish those little pockets of tension wherever they might be. It might be in your face or in your neck or your shoulders. Maybe in your arms, hands. Just taking a moment to feel down through your chest, in your abdomen, through your hips. Just noticing if there's any unnecessary tension, unnecessary holding. Down through the legs. Through the feet. even really trying to relax or open the body. We're just a space in which everything can open and relax if it wants to. You're not insisting upon anything. Maybe take a moment to it's like just feeling the quality of awareness in and around your head. The way that through that sort of portal or opening that awareness has this sense of like vast open sky. It's simply something that we notice. We don't create it. Just this open sky-like awareness. Perhaps thought will enter into it. And then fall away. And notice how the sky-like awareness in and around the head it's just a space, it's a clearing. It really has no preferences in and of itself for what arises, for what's heard or felt. It's just a sort of intimate, open space. You may notice that that space is naturally quiet, but there's no attachment to the quiet. It's just an open, quiet space in which, well, even sounds can arise. And the quiet isn't disturbed. And you can just let your awareness it's almost like it just sinks down from around the mind, around the head, into the space around the heart or the chest, and also within the heart. And don't be bothered if the heart feels in any way tight or closed, or Remember, you're just an invitation. You're just a space where things get to be allowed to be the way they are. So there's no goal here of an open or closed heart. It's just noticing the quality of awareness around within the heart. It's often felt to be just a little kind of a felt sense of closeness or intimacy. You may at times feel, when resting in and around the heart, a kind of subtle sense of presence or a kind of radiance. And the human heart, by that I mean the affective, the heart that has feelings and emotions, that the human heart is actually within this bigger sense of a heart. Heartful presence, heartful awareness. That the human heart of feelings is within this bigger heart. Because the human heart does need something to open into. And now you can just allow that awareness just to kind of drop down a little bit more, down through the solar plexus, down into the area in and around the lower part of the belly, just allowing awareness to just settle down and around the belly. And you might intuit that when we experience awareness through that portal, through that sort of dimension, that it takes on this sense of mystery. It's not like exactly like a big clear space of sky like around the mind, but it's dark and mysterious. And if you're kind of looking or relating to that deep, mysterious, dark dimension of awareness, it can be sometimes intimidating or a little frightening. But if you, instead of looking at it or into it, you just, in essence, let yourself become it. Don't hold yourself apart. And it's not frightening. And that sense and that intuition of that incredible deep quiet that's down in this deep dimension of being, unimaginable quiet. And that deep quiet can suffuse the body-mind just by feeling that sense of quiet, that sense of dark mystery. Not just noticing it, but sensing it, feeling it throughout the whole body. And now you can just sort of relax, holding the attention anywhere. Just, you don't have to hold it in the lower part of the belly or the heart or around the head. Just, you just sort of see where it wants to go. Maybe it naturally is inclined towards one of those three centers. Maybe it just opens up in this sort of all-inclusive way. It's just like you're letting go of directing it in any way. And you may notice that there is a meditation that's happening underneath your attempt to meditate. There's a quiet that's underneath the intention to notice the quiet. This is why, in its strictest sense, in its deepest sense, meditation is something we allow to happen. It's not something we make happen. We notice that it's happening in the deepest part of our being, the deepest part of our psyche. And we just notice it and join with it.
Just what I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Okay. Couple of comments before we start. One of the things that I thought was really kind of profound and something that I've been trying to get to this summer when we were working on the heart chakra was that sense of presence, which he's alluded to twice, and which I very definitely feel there. And his statement that it needs something to open into. Phew. That we've got the upper one here opening up into the sky. We got this opening into the heart.
Into the ground.
Into the ground. And with the heart, it's so much opening into other people and containment. And I think that has a lot to do with, again, the hug. You know, we go to a Saint Amma. And one of the things that she does is you get a ticket and you wait for 2 days in the hopes of getting a hug from her. But when you get a hug from her, that bitch be present. You know that you've been hugged. It is absolutely amazing. And there's something about the safety of someone's arms around you that you really feel safe to let go.
Yeah, she's seated and you're instructed just to fall into her. And it's pretty profound.
And she takes your head and rubs it and goes, my darling. She rocks you. And then she anoints your forehead and gives you chocolate and a blessing. And you go away and you keep the chocolate. And it goes bad after a couple of years, but it's a holy chocolate. So that was one thing that I encourage you to look at. The other thing is, and there are actually three things, is when you begin to think about your spinal cord, I keep saying your nervous system is a receiver. It's not a broadcaster. We're not broadcasting anything. So these different frequencies, we can see that at the level of sound. Any of you who love disco music, I love the bass. And anything, I'm always going to have the bass modulated because it's going to hit lower on your spine. It's going to hit in these lower centers. The higher up you go, the higher the vibrational level. Higher has no, we tend to assign meaning to that because we're male dominated and male biased. Higher means better than, no, bullshit. Higher, lower just describes relative position, not value.
Preference.
And so as you're tuning, you're literally tuning into different frequencies. Your spine is vibrating differently at those levels. So tune into what you're receiving, not only in your visceral organs. So if you think that the chakras, the energy centers are going in front of the spine through the vagus nerve, then these other energies are behind that, and these are the energies in the spinal cord, different part of the nervous system. So it's going to vibrate differently. You're going to pick up different frequencies. So we've got this earth stuff happening down here. We've got the sky stuff opening up, heart stuff more along this kind of level. The other thing that he keeps encouraging us to take a look at, and Rupert did this last week, and that's why we're listing these people, is he said, notice that there's something already meditating behind you're trying to meditate. So it's like me struggling to be a meditator, do all these things and hold all these techniques. And then there's a part of you that's already silent, that's already at peace, that's already joyful, expansive, all that kind of stuff that you're kind of opening into. When he says the heart wants something to open into, well, this is what we're going to open into. Now, this is what they mean by your Buddha nature. So there's very much this sense in Buddhism that you awaken to awakening, that there's something in you that's already awake, your Buddha nature, that is encouraging you to wake up, to realize that you're suffering. The shit that you do is keeping you from being in this place, that place is always there. So it's not, when I say it's not something you create, it's nothing that you need to understand, okay? There's need to understand it. It understands itself. It knows how to be itself. It doesn't need you to try and limit it by understanding it in advance. It's something that it's just like the sky. To sail, glide, paraglide, you don't need to understand the nature of the sky. You just jump off the cliff and sail. And so I wanted to emphasize again that kind of point, that there's no need for understanding, no need for effort, there's no need for anything except to let go of what it is that isn't a part of that, to begin to notice that here is this awareness, and then here's what I'm aware of, and that as long as I keep getting involved with this and distracted, I lose the background. Like yesterday, I see the 3 birds and I miss the sky. Okay, so quick, any questions, comments before we go?
Go, Woody.
I'm trying.
You want to?
I have a friend who is getting up at 6:30 every morning to meditate with a whole bunch of people who follow a guy named Master Lee are doing this throughout the world. And he is kind of integrates Tai Chi and Qigong, and Lynn does both. But he's emphasizing the energy that goes from your dantian to, she said there is a place that intersects if you go back from right underneath your nose to down there, that intersects, and that's where the energy, you want it to stop because you don't want it to go. Master Lee says
Okay.
you don't want it to go out through. Yeah.
The pituitary gland, and that's 6th chakra.
Okay. So you go back and forth between your dantian and this as far as energy flow.
It's something that unless you're doing Tai Chi, you really don't need to worry about. Okay. But yeah, they do a breath that you draw the energy up from actually the perineum. And you bring it from the perineum up the spine into the pineal gland, and it comes across like this. And then you touch your tongue to the roof of your mouth, which completes a circuit. And interestingly enough, it also activates the vagus nerve, which is what's carrying that energy down. So you're developing a line from the pineal gland down in front of the organs. So as you exhale, you visualize the breath coming down into the lower dantian. So you pull it out of the lower dantian, up, around, circle it back, and then down. That's way advanced for what we're doing. Okay.
It's a lot of detail.
Sounds like a lot. Yeah.
It's a great breath, and you'll get higher than a fucking kite.
I don't necessarily use that breath, but I can't remember what teacher it was that tipped us off to placing the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth. And it has the effect of
Closing a circuit.
Of present moment, of alert and aware. So a lot of times for me, if I'm lost and I can remember, I will put the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And it's kind of a neat little hack. Do you remember who told us that? I don't remember.
It's a fundamental part of Tai Chi, so it may have been in
Yeah, it was a
Chinese
meditation.
meditation.
All right.
Anybody else?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, I just wanted to say, whenever I finished my procedure with the nerve root block last week, one of the things that was really helpful with what we have been doing is they were really supportive of me doing deep breathing as I laid there. And also being present on a different level in terms of not worried about it just being and breathing and and that really and that also whenever I get back home, I can't not move, that I've got to go ahead and start moving. I mean, I thought I'd have a miracle and it'd all go away, right, with those infusions. Ain't gonna happen, and but it happened enough whenever I went back into what work doing with y'all, of being positive about the procedure, what happened, and being present. And I wanted to, and that it's okay for me to sit in darn chairs. I am not going to sit on the floor with a cushion. Okay. I don't know what, but anyway, your permission again, you do what needs to be done for you to be as helpful for
Father Kennedy
yourself.
sits in a chair. He's
Compassionate
up fucking
choice.
Roshi.
So
Passionate choice.
I
So,
just want to give you all some feedback of how
yeah,
this has worked for me.
yeah, Robert.
I'd like to say that this reminds me so much of an ideal moment of my life. Um, for a period of time while I was teaching at
So
Magnet,
sorry. Sorry.
I mean,
I got I got to bicycle to work, and it's very early in the morning, and something about the bicycling opened up meditation world. It opened as our guide said to that it will open, and this vast, there were roads and traffic and crap like that, but there was nothing, none of it impeded my consciousness.
Yeah.
And eventually, near the end of that ride, I would had to go up some hills, very kind of stressing the heart, and that was cleansing. And then I got in the classroom before anyone gets to work, and dried off, toweled off, and started with big sweeps of the marker on the classroom board, pouring out the instruction that I'd prepared and thought a lot about. And I felt like it was a gift from another dimension.
Mhm.
You
Yeah, it
know,
starts happening through you instead of from you. Yes.
yes.
And Robert, this is
So
what we call spontaneous meditation. So what we're doing is formal meditation. People have spiritual experiences all the time. The problem is we're so spiritually illiterate, we don't name it. You can have it in the middle of a run. You can have it while you're in Yellowstone. You can have it while you're on your walk in the morning.
playing
You
tennis.
can have it all kinds of places. So that's exactly how it feels, okay? But as I say, the thing is, it doesn't make us unique that we have spiritual experiences. It's that we don't do anything with it. We have it, but we don't understand the significance of it. And so we don't use it to open up into that wider possibility and quit using a very inferior tool for living our daily life. It's like we wake up, we have a moment of insight, whoa, this really feels great, and then we go back to sleep like we never had the experience. We don't start to explore it. So what we're doing here is beginning to explore those kinds of moments, and each of us is unique. You and Tommy are bikers. Uh, and so you're going to share that as a common experience. Others of us will be walkers. Some of us are people who go out in nature. Some of us have those
Yoga.
experiences in interpersonal relationships or in yoga. So they're all valid. There are ways that it breaks through. That's the traditional language of moments of grace when God breaks through, and all of a sudden yeah.
That's
It's
it.
same thing.
You're there.
Same thing, different language, different
I bet you
way of
Tommy can speak to
conceptualizing.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Robert, I've told Linnell this many times, but I find bike riding to be the most meditative experience that I have in my life. Um, I mean, among other things, you're always in the present moment. You have to be in the present moment. You know, you're, and at the same time, you have this awareness of all this beautiful stuff around, at least where I ride. I've got beautiful sky, a river next to me, and trees. And it becomes this awareness while I'm being in the present moment. I don't have time to think. I'm not thinking, what am I going to do when I get back? How am I going to plan something or what went wrong yesterday? I'm there and I'm enjoying just being in the moment and being in the environment. It's just an amazing experience. You have the same thing sometimes hiking and stuff, but I find bike riding to be just amazingly a meditative experience.
Right. And so there's a guy named Idris Shah. He's a Sufi master, contemporary Sufi master. And he wrote a book on learning how to learn. And so as we go through and you start identifying moments where, oh, I've had these awakenings, learn how to learn from them. Okay. What does it have to teach you? Okay. So you don't have to learn this stuff from books. It will teach you if you open yourself up to the experiences. That was one of the things that I was feeling. I got this pinch in my left hip. And this is going to sound corny, but I swear to God, it's exactly what happened. Linnell, no, when I first met her, I said, you know, if I shift my position and correct my posture 30 or 40 times during a meditation, I consider it a good meditation. And she said, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard. What it meant was that I was in my body. I was in my body enough to know where I was hurting. So this was hitting here. And I just made a very subtle little correction, and all of a sudden it popped out. And I really felt this sense of gratitude for my body to teach me the correct posture. It was teaching me how to sit. It was giving me a signal. No, oh, I'm doing it wrong or anything else. It's just like, oh, thank you for
Not a
reminding me not
pain,
to sink
just-
back.
yeah.
Yeah, for sitting back. So the Buddha says, work out your own path with diligence. Studying Krishnamurti again, and I'll have to show you this little video about his life because he was my teacher's teacher. And he just basically said that nobody's got anything to teach you. The past is worthless. Stay in the present moment. Present moment will teach you.
He would not take on.
He would take on students. He wouldn't
Right.
let people give him any money. Wouldn't do any of that stuff. A man of tremendous integrity. The Theosophists thought he was the second coming of Jesus. And he gave all the money that he got from them, all the property, everything back to them and renounced them and said, no, this is just bullshit. So as we do this, yeah, just keep learning. It's in you. It will teach you. Just need to learn how to access it. So anyhow, you want to gong us out, Sugar?
Okay.
Sugar.
Are we gonna
That-
Are we?
That
One
is.
round of om?
Excuse me, was that Robert who said that?
Yeah.
Sugar, yeah, sugar is an ancient Sanskrit word for head monk.
Aha.
Crept
Gee,
into
Linnell.
Southern language, women's role as
Yes.
I love that.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Let's, together, deep breath in.
Thank you all.
Hari Om, Shanti,
Shanti.
Yeah,
peace, everybody.
Namaste.
yep. Hey, go Bears.
Go forth.
Yeah.
Thanks. It was a
Love
good
y'all.
conversation. I enjoyed Adyashanti today and his instruction. It was good.
Yeah.
Is a good guy.
Yep.
Good guy.
Mhm.
I'm
I
like,
like-
Yeah.
I like this Sunday. This Sunday seems, I don't know, just maybe because it's Sunday and the weekend's almost over. It just seemed a little calmer for me. And I had just woke up from a nap.
Perfect.
Yeah.
and all that good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Good.
It's very, very good.
Excellent.
Good. Glad y'all can make it.
Yeah.
And tell
Thank
people,
y'all.
Yep.
like Woody saying that she didn't know it was happening, and I've been sending out notices
It's on
for
my
months,
texts,
and
but
it's
Yeah,
on
I
my
know.
texts
so-
often look the same. So you fall into the trap of maybe not reading the whole thing. but
Carefully.
it's-
Yeah.
All right.
Love y'all.
Love you, Bart and Linnell.
Love you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.